Yes, indeed. We're focusing, keeping our focus on our preparations for the forthcoming general elections. We've seen some of the recent developments, the last one being the Rivers election, and part of what we'll consider. But this morning, we've got on my far right, Dr. J. Samuel, who is the former national chairman of Alliance for New Nigeria, that's the ANN. And then on my immediate right is Shield Wazura, who is national coordinator of Good Governance Group of the PDP. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much.
Well, I'm going to start with Dr. Samuels. Some concerns raised now about what some saw in the last elections, where they're speaking about the role of security. How do we ensure that what we saw doesn't happen again? I mean, we're still talking about what happened in Ekiti, how people still want that stamped out. Now, in other elections, it looks as if one election, one trouble. Is that how you see it?
Yeah, I think it's really very worrisome for us, especially as new parties coming up, because we've seen that it's like there's this desperation on the part of maybe the current government to keep to power at all costs to win all the elections. But I mean, it shouldn't be like that. All along, all our plans and strategy has been that, okay, we have the PDP, the APC, and other parties to deal with. But now, in fact, for us as a party, we actually see INEC as another.
INEC?
Yes.
Why INEC?
Because I mean, they also have a role to play, but it's becoming increasingly more.
Yeah, but have they been found wanting recently?
INEC. For me, I don't think I've been satisfied with all the elections that have happened so far, because they claim to be an impartial observer, impartial participant. But what we are seeing from the inside information that we get from all these past elections, I mean, it's not very encouraging on the role that INEC has played.
Any specifics?
But for me, I like to separate institutions from individuals. The institution as itself might be doing what it needs to do, being an impartial observer.
So in this case now, is it an institutional challenge that you're not satisfied with, or what?
But the end result translates to the institutional challenge. But it could be some individuals within the institution itself that are responsible.
What challenge is it? Tell us about this.
What we get as results of elections is not what we know that actually happened. And you now ask, how does this thing happen? Where and how did? I mean, it's a no secret amongst if you're a political operative, you know what happens pre, during, and post-election. And when you get results, it doesn't even make sense. I don't want to focus on the two major parties, for instance. Now, even the smaller parties, it doesn't make sense when you only allocate 1, 2, 3 votes to other parties. That's not the true reflection of what is happening. We know that these other parties are made inroads into the communities. They are garnering votes, but what we see is just allocation of results. So, and that also comes to the role of the security forces in all of this, because it seems to be that, like for instance, I've been fortunate to be attending meetings of quarterly meetings of INEC with political parties. In the prelude to the Ekiti election, we were promised by INEC. That vote buying, they are going to go against vote buying, and they have measures in place to prevent vote buying. They promised that, but look at what happened at the election. We saw pay and vote, or whatever they're calling it. And how many weeks after the election now, have you seen anybody being prosecuted? Or have you seen anybody arrested? Or INEC has INEC done anything to arrest those people that were involved in it?
Yeah, but listening to that, there are those who may come away with the impression that INEC saw how vote buying went, or those who were engaging in that act and looked the other way. Is that the case?
No, what I'm saying that what happened in Ekiti was not new to them.
Yeah, but with the comment we heard from INEC, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that, well, look, if anyone had brought any of those cases to their attention, they would have then taken the next step, which is to report to the police, who are supposed to be there, usually there, the ones who are not armed, and then they will take action.
No. I'm saying that they promised us before the election that they were going to do something about it, that they knew what happened in Edo, they knew what happened in Anambra, that they're not going to allow it in Ekiti. They promised political parties that. So they should not be expecting people to come and respond. But that means if they promised that, that means they had plans and strategies to prevent vote buying, at least from. So what did they do? Nothing.
One of the trends that I think we've seen in some of these elections is an apparent non-implementation of what is promised. I think you've alluded a bit to that. But I want to be more specific now. We understand months ago that INEC was to partner with the EFCC to essentially clamp down on illicit campaign finance, to also clamp down on vote buying. Obviously, in Ekiti State, that didn't hold up, and obviously that has brought into question whether or not INEC is going to live up to everything that it's saying that it will do. Mr. Shield, what are your thoughts about that, and what do you think INEC should do to kind of clamp down on some of these things?
The truth of the matter is, vote buying has come to stay unless there's a drastic action against it. I witnessed the Anambra election firsthand. It was a commercial exercise. I mean, people were holding cash at the polling booths. You have this party, this party, this party. So it's a matter of, if this one is offering 3,000, you will ask this one. And it was like you were trading in Ojota market. I witnessed that one firsthand. And policemen were there. So if INEC is saying, report to us, we will report to police. Which other police? Do we have to police structures in the country? They were buying votes at each polling booth in Anambra. The same thing happened in Ekiti. So I would not want to, I don't know if INEC has the powers to stop people at the polling booth without harms. I don't think they have such powers. What I think the problem is, go ahead.
I'm trying to understand that. Stop people without arms.
At the polling booth, if you're not harmed and people are buying votes, you can't stop them. In fact, the sad part was in Anambra, there was a polling booth I visited, and I had to call some of the observers.
Yeah, but pardon me, but in terms of not being able to stop them, the sanctity of the ballot, and I think they spoke about that too, they can do something about preventing the electorate from showing whoever is somewhere at a distance the ballot paper. That can happen.
That's the job of the police, not INEC. See, the perimeter needs to be cordoned off. Let the booth be alone for the person who wants to vote. What they did in Ekiti was vote, see, and collect. And the danger in this is people are hungry. People are so hungry. Do you know in Anambra, Abubakar Shekau, or whatever his name is, the leader of Boko Haram, if he was on the ballot and he had money, he could have become the governor of that state. That's the danger of what we are not looking at this. Nobody cared who was on which party, who was a candidate of any party. People were so hungry. There was a community I went to. For 7 hours, people were kept in a hall to be given 500 naira. Nigerians are hungry. Now, how do we stop this? It is the job of the police. We need a police that is not political. Because when they do this, I have videos of people exchanging money and security men sitting down nonchalantly. The police, and that's where it comes to the leadership of the security agencies in Nigeria. The way things are today, believe me sincerely, if we go into 2019 like this, the election will be compromised. We need a police force that will make it abundantly clear that if you're seen around the polling booth with money, paying people to vote, you will be prosecuted.